Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Matt, and if you're new here, usually I'm posting things like reaction videos and my own personal music, but here at the beginning of the year I decided that I was going to start doing some kind of vlog style video on Mondays, and I decided that the first few episodes are going to be about my cancer journey or cancer story or whatever kind of title that we're wanting to give it. Last week I posted an episode, it was episode 1, about the beginning processes of getting the rest of the melanoma removed from my body, and if you missed that episode, go ahead and click this link and it'll take you straight to that video. But on today's episode, we're going to talk about basically leading up right up into the surgery. So I took some footage in my hotel room the night before the surgery and also going into the actual surgery process. So before we get started, I just want to reiterate once again that I am in no way a medical professional, and if you guys have spots on your body that you think you need to get checked out, please go see a dermatologist. Early detection and early removal and by biopsy and getting it figured out from a very early stage could mean everything, and that's what it meant for me in my story as well. My journey is not going to be just like your journey. It'll be a little bit different. I'm just documenting this so that way you guys can get somewhat of an idea of some of the things that goes along with the cancer and with melanoma. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the hotel room the night before my surgery.
Yo, I'm not looking forward to tomorrow at all. I know no normal human being would be looking forward to that. So I guess I'm not special in that sense, but when you have things like anxiety, you just think about all the what ifs. You know, a simple procedure just seems like the biggest deal. So, and considering the fact that besides wisdom teeth, I haven't had a procedure like this before ever, so that's nerve-wracking. But we're here in the hotel room, just kind of hanging out. Gotta be there to get started at 7:30 tomorrow morning, so that's interesting. I mean, I gotta get up early and do that. I mean, I guess it's good that it's happening earlier so that I'll have all day tomorrow to think about it, you know, and make my way over to the hospital and get all that done. Fun fact, I was starving myself today for absolutely no reason because I misread the instructions and I thought it meant that I couldn't have any food for like 24 hours beforehand, and come to find out it was all misread, or it just said that I couldn't eat any food after midnight. So we had dinner at P.F. Chang's. I starved myself all day for no reason. That was good though. Other than that, just kind of hanging, watching some Lost, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, getting cut up.
So we woke up the next morning, we went to the hospital, and before we got started, I needed to do just a little bit more nuclear medicine before we did the surgery. And basically what they did is they injected me 4 times around the spot where the melanoma was, and that medicine is going to run to any lymph nodes that possibly had any melanoma in it. It was this crazy room, it was dark, they shot me up 4 times, they put me under this thing that kind of looked like an x-ray machine, but not at the same time. Like, I was able to watch the computer screen and see what she was seeing, and it literally looks like space. Like, your body kind of looks like you're looking into stars, and you can see that nuclear medicine running towards specific spots inside of your body, and it ran to a lymph node, and I wasn't aware of what I was looking at the time, but then they sent me off to go get prepped for my surgery, and I met with my surgeon beforehand. She said yes, there was melanoma in one of the lymph nodes back behind where the actual spot was, and that was the lymph node that they were going to go ahead and remove. So the good news was I didn't have to have 2 incisions. She said she could get it all done in 1 incision. It was right here on my chest. We didn't have to go up underneath my arm, which was super rad. I didn't have to have 2 cuts on my body, just 1. As you can see in this next shot here, there's a spot on my chest where it just says yes, and you'll see it on the video. I'm acting ridiculous, or I don't know. You'll see it on the video, I'm being myself, but the word yes is literally written like in Sharpie on my chest, and that's where they were going to go in underneath to make a mark. Sure it's perfect. Yeah,
Here's the sticky. Do you want to say something?
No, I don't want to say anything.
Yes.
And like that, they went ahead, and I remember them coming into my waiting room where I was already dressed up, and I had an IV in my arm where they were giving me some fluids to start off with. And and they gave me a relaxant to kind of get my nerves down, which was one of the probably best things that they could have done for me, because if you know me in any way, my anxiety levels are just like through the roof all the time. So it was very great for them to be able to give that to me. And I remember getting wheeled off into the operation room and kind of seeing things around me, and I remember being in the room and making my way over to the table. And then I remember the anesthesiologist coming in the room and her making some kind of comments about getting started. And then, I'm not joking with you guys, I literally blinked. And I know people say this all the time, and you wonder if it's actually true. Well, you're just gonna have to trust me on this one. But I'm being 100% honest with you guys. I blinked, and then I was in the recovery room. It was the craziest experience ever. I don't remember a thing, and it's probably a good thing that I don't remember anything that happened in that operating room. But I was there in the recovery room. I had like this fan on me. They were kind of cooling me off. And I only got sick for like a few seconds. And then I just started coming to. And then Kristen came into the room and asked me how I was doing. And I felt some tightness from, I guess, where the bandages were and everything else. But, you know, I ate my graham cracker like they asked me to do. I swallowed down some, I think Sprite is what it was. I don't know, some kind of soda kind of drink or whatever. Swallowed it down, and then we were leaving. Like, it was as simple as that. Honestly, I can't stress how much I don't remember anything that happened to that. So if you have an anxious mind and you're worried about that specific part, the actual operation, depending on how extreme or severe the operation is, I will say, to help relieve some anxieties that you might have, I literally just blinked and it was over. It was insane. It's like 3 hours of my life I'm never gonna get back, and you know, I kind of want to know, but I don't want to know at the same time. But this next shot, we're in the car and we're on our way to go get some Chick-fil-A because I hadn't eaten anything at all that day. So check out this video of us. This was right whenever I left the hospital.
I bet. What time did she come tell you that it was over?
3:15.
Sweet. So 3:15. It took me. I remember looking at the clock at like 4 something whenever I started coming to, and now it's 5:30. We're out of the hospital. She said I could have grilled things like grilled chicken, so we're at Chick-fil-A right now because I haven't eaten all day and I am so hungry. I'll go more over in detail kind of the experience of the surgery when I'm putting this video together, but just wanted to let you guys know everything went good, and currently am not in pain, knock on wood. I know that's coming, just considering the fact that she literally cut me open. But for now, we're getting a little bit of a dinner, and then we'll be on our road, on the way back home to Montgomery. So
You did great. We also have to say we're getting ice cream.
you know, we're also getting Jenny's ice cream because they told me that ice cream is good because I had a breathing tube down my throat, and if anything is obnoxious right now, it's how sore my throat is right now. It feels like I have strep, and it's just because there was a hose down my windpipe. So
Nice.
very nice.
So Kristen and I headed to the house. We got home. It really wasn't that late. Got sat up in the bed and honestly just went to sleep that night, and kind of sucked the way that I had to sleep because they told me that I needed to keep the incision elevated over the heart so that way it didn't do any kind of swelling. So I had to sleep sitting up, which was not the most comfortable thing to do, and I had to do that for a couple days. But other than that, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I haven't really, even to this day, at this point, haven't really felt any severe pain where they did the incision. Honestly, the majority of my pain came from my back, from having to sleep sitting up. It came from my neck, from having to sleep sitting up. And it came from my throat because of the breathing tube that they had to put down my throat. It made it feel like I had strep for a couple days. But the actual incision, I mean, I've stopped taking some Tylenol here and I've started to feel a little bit of pain here and there, but nothing extreme that like I wouldn't have from like a normal cut or something like that, which is great. I was really nervous about that. But check out this video. It's a couple days after I got back from the hospital with some of my initial thoughts just kind of coming out of surgery.
All right, so it has been, today's day 2 of recovery. Honestly, there's been more pain, not on the actual incision, but everywhere else on my body. So like my neck and my back hurt so bad. I think I might have pulled a muscle in my back, but it hurts because I have to sleep sitting up to keep this from swelling, so it's a very uncomfortable sleeping situation. And then my throat hurts extremely bad still because of the breathing tube. So yesterday I talked too much, so today I've tried not talking as much. Just want to update you guys a little bit on that. I haven't looked at it yet. They told me to wait 2 days before taking these bandages off. So here in a couple, probably an hour or two, I'm gonna go shower and take all this off and see what it looks like. I'm kind of not looking forward to looking at it because I haven't seen it yet, and I don't know if it's gonna freak me out or anything, so.
That was probably not the best choice on my part. I don't do good with blood or gore of any kind. I don't know what idea I had in my head of what I was expecting to see, but I was not prepared to see what I saw whenever I removed those bandages. For some reason, the word incision in my head doesn't sound that extreme. The word incision to me sounds like a small area worth of cutting. I went to the bathroom, and Kristen asked me before she went back to work on her lunch break. She's like, hey, do you want to wait to do this whenever I get home from work? And I was like, nah, I got this. It'll be perfectly fine. But it wasn't. So I got into the bathroom, and I was getting ready to jump in the shower and start to clean this thing off, and I pulled back, I'm not joking, like this much of the bandage starting here, and I pulled it back and I saw it in the mirror, and I turned as white as a ghost, and I almost threw up. I almost got sick. It was way too much for me, and it hit me on how intense this whole entire thing actually was. I don't know, like going into the surgery, I knew how severe it was. Like I knew that I had cancer, and I knew that there was something in my body that didn't need to be there, and we had to go through some pretty extreme measures to get it out. But I don't know if I really grasped, and this is strange, but I don't know if I really grasped how severe the whole situation was until I started pulling that bandage back. It all just kind of sat in that moment. I'm telling you guys this now so that way when you get to that point, be prepared, especially depending on what they have to do procedure-wise, if they're having to take out lymph node or something like that. Be prepared for what you're going to see, and if you can't take it, make sure you have someone else do it. Because it really was intense. It was almost like this fight or flight moment inside of my body where my body was telling my brain, hey, that's not natural and something's not right here. And it's not. There was something in my body that didn't need to be there, and it needed to come out. So I put the bandage back on. I called Kristen and I said, hey, you're going to have to do this. I can't. There's no way that I'm going to be able to do this by myself. I need your help. So I waited for her to get home that night, and she helped me clean it, and I could not look at it. And at this point, I'm recording this. I guess this is, what? I'm looking at my calendar right now. Today is the 17th. You're going to be seeing this video on the 25th. At this point, I should have hopefully seen it at this point, but it's been 5 days at this point, and I still haven't looked at it. I can't look at it. For some reason, there's just something inside me that's saying that I can't do it yet. I've given myself a time frame that this Tuesday, 2 more days, I'm going to allow myself and make myself look at it because I need to come to reality of what's actually under there. But I'm not joking. It goes from like here all the way up to here, this gash. So this is probably like one of the more serious parts of this video, but I just want you guys to know, if you're going into this, to know this might be a lot for you to take in. So just be prepared for that. And at this point, like I said, it doesn't hurt at this point. It itches, if anything, and I think that's a lot of healing that's going on. It might also be some body hair that's growing back underneath the bandages, and it's just kind of all this huge mess that's just causing it to itch, and I can't scratch it. It's driving me nuts. But that's the update at this point. I have more things coming up. I have to go back to UAB to go meet with my surgeon 2 weeks from the day that I got my surgery. So that's honestly, you might be getting this video the week that I'm going up there to go meet with her. But basically they're biopsying that lymph node just to make sure that they've got everything. So there is still another step, and that might be the last step. It might be a couple more steps after that. I will say that I do have reoccurring appointments with the surgeon and with the dermatologist for the next 5 years to keep an eye on this kind of stuff. So know that going into it as well, that you need to continue to have follow-up appointments after all this is over with. So be expecting some more follow-up videos from this one. You're not getting one next week. It'll probably be a couple weeks or maybe a month or two down the road where you're gonna get some kind of follow-ups from this point of my journey, because that's really all the information that I have for you guys at this point. I wanted to share this information with you guys because I know that, you know, this channel, I want it to not just be a mindless channel where I'm just doing reactions and all that kind of stuff. Like, I've always wanted my music to be uplifting and to point people towards good and to point people towards hope. And I've wanted things that I do in my life to point people towards good and hope. And that being this channel as well, that's why I wanted to do this for you guys. I wanted, if there's somebody out there who's searching on YouTube, my cancer story or my melanoma story or something like that, that this video can come up and be some kind of beacon of light in their life that helps explain a little bit of what they might go through whenever they're going through this melanoma journey. And like I said, because I'll have more updates in the future, I want you guys to be able to check out those updates as well. So if you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on those bell notifications so that way you guys know when I have new videos coming out, so that way you guys can keep up with this cancer journey and see the outcome and what's coming up next. That's all I've got for you guys today. I love you, I appreciate you, and I will see you guys next week.
Do you remember the stars swirling around?